Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is, of course, Jay Moore bringing you the rest of the best of 5 series between ELFI and Daisy. They are tied 1-1 right now. During the first game, we saw ELFI go for a proxy gate, did not work, and in the second game, he opted to go for a 4 gate on Daybreak. Daisy slipping up and not getting a sentry, getting a second stalker, and not able to force field out, and ended up losing the game. So this was Daisy's pick. This is the third of the best of 5. So we're going to jump right into this. So spawning in the northwest corner of MLG Shakuras Plateau, we do have ROG.elfi, aka Republic of Gamers ELFI, and spawning in the northeast corner, as our blue Protoss, of course. Spawning in the northeast corner, we do have Escape Icy Box's Daisy as our teal Protoss spawning in the northeast corner. Of course, these players are tied 1-1, so we should see a longer game, hopefully. I keep saying that. I actually said that during the first and second game, and both of them were under 7 minutes, so hopefully we'll see a little bit of a longer game. Maybe we'll see some robotics play. ELFI definitely, one thing people criticize him for was his APM, so, doing a 4 gate for him is definitely really, really nice. I'm sure he focuses his direct attention on microing, because this micro is definitely really good, one of the better PvPers, so I'm curious to see, is he going to try and do another 4 gate on this map? Of course, Daisy may not slip up and may actually get a sentry this time, preventing ELFI from being able to warp in on the high ground. Of course, gateways are going down in the base, so we aren't going to see any sort of cheese shenanigans, at least, and they're both just corner boosting their Nexus. As far as Shakuras Plateau, as far as PvP goes, it's really hard to say. Some people opt to do different things. I would definitely say similar to Daybreak, Robo is definitely the way to go. There's nothing wrong with going Robo on just about any map, and actually ELFI scouting around again, making sure there is no proxy pylons, making sure there's nothing going on that could cost him this game early on. And, where is he going to go from this? Will we see him take a second gas earlier this time? We will have to see. Building both of his pylons actually close to his Nexus, not giving him too much vision around his base, so ELFI could actually hide some pylons and probes around his opponent's base. So actually ELFI opted to get the scout, and of course they are close air, so ELFI will get the scout first, and so it's looking like Daisy is going to get his Cyber Core at around the same time, so nothing funky. We're not going to see any sort of 2 gate with just all Zealots, and here comes ELFI up into the main. What will he see? Will he actually scout his opponent? Okay, so he just kind of touched base. Okay, no, he's actually going to get full scout at this point. He's going to try and make sure he might actually block the second gas geyser. Yes, he's going to sit on hold here, but Daisy is 1 step ahead. Make sure to keep 2 probes there, pins him back, and then takes the gas geyser himself. ELFI still has not gotten second gas yet. Will he actually take a second gas in this series? We will have to say. He might just opt to 4 gate every single time. Of course, this is the Zotac Cup, so some of these players really don't like the online tournaments, so they might just go for some sort of less than 15-minute game over and over and over. And ELFI scouting his opponent's base again, still not getting a second gas geyser. Does have his first Zealot down, and here comes a Stalker from ELFI and from Daisy at this point. So Daisy should follow this up with a sentry this time, because of course, as I stated before, it did cost him the previous game. I like this pylon placement from Daisy in case he does have to fight close to the ramp. It allows him to warp in very, very close and engage immediately. ELFI still opting to scout around his base, making sure there is nothing going on. He has scouted his opponent, so I'm not sure what exactly he is afraid of here. Running back with his pylon at this point, and is he... Oh my god, he is seriously going to 4 gate again. Oh, excuse me, robotics facility goes down. Thank you, ELFI, off 1 gas. So we do have a robotics facility go down, an extra pylon go down, and still scouting around that Stalker and making use of his units as much as possible. And the Zealot from Daisy is going to hold the watchtower at this point, and ELFI's just going to take this other one. Oh, actually, is he scouting around it? No. Daisy definitely sees those. So, excuse me. So ELFI is going to try and scout his opponent. I think ELFI is expecting an expansion out of this, but actually Daisy is, excuse me, let's see here, 3 gate, so he might go for some sort of 3 gate pressure or 3 gate expand. There's nothing wrong with either of these. Of course, if ELFI did go for some sort of Dark Templar timing, it would crush Daisy because he does not have a robotics facility, but that is not the case. ELFI is going for a robotics facility and is actually teching up to get warp gate research. We do have 3 gateways on the way and still 1 gas, so it looks like we're going to see a Zealot drop or an Immortal drop. Not sure which. Yeah, it looks like a Zealot drop. We do have 4 gates. He does have enough food right now. He needs to get an extra pylon down here in just a second, but it looks like Daisy is going to expand, and I think I actually remember ELFI doing this quite a bit during a tournament that I got to watch with him. I'm sorry, I don't remember the specific name or details, but I do remember him actually using warp prisms quite a bit. It's definitely one of my more favorite things in PvP. It throws a curveball into the matchup. So essentially, you're going for harass, which how often do you see that in PvP? Most of the time it's, I'm either going to kill you with this or I lose. And, it's going to be Blink Stalkers with Robo, etc. So it looks like he's going to pick up 3 Zealots and a Stalker and drop him right into his opponent's base. And of course, we do not have too much to speak of for Daisy at this point. A couple of Zealots and 2 Stalkers, so this Warp Prism will be able to get into the base of Daisy quite easily. Second gas geyser has been grabbed from ELFI, so we might see a follow-up of the Robotics Bay, and we might actually see 1 base Colossus. And here comes the Warp in. A ton of Zealots are being brought in, and all the probes are going to fight this. Actually, ELFI going to lose his Warp Prism here if he's not careful, trying to fly it back here, but Daisy doing a good job of microing his probes back and forth. Already lost 5, though, so definitely costing him here. ELFI, has he done enough damage? It's really hard to say at this point. The Zealots are preventing Daisy from doing too much, and here comes another Warp warping. The shuttle is going to get taken out here. Yes, it does go down. And so how did Elfi do? We will take a look in just a moment here. The last zealot of Elfi does go down, and now Elfi's trying to escape his opponent's base, trying to warp in a sentry. He's going to force field the ramp here, trying to prevent Elfi from escaping, and this Stalker will go down. So, resources lost. Elfi is actually ahead right now, but once he loses his Stalker, he will be back down in the red, but still quite a bit of damage. Opening up the production tab again, Elfi is building an Observer. Has he expanded? No, he hasn't really shown where he's going to go with this. I'm not sure what he's planning to do here. There's the Robotics Bay, a little bit late at this point. Maybe he needed a little bit extra gas, but I'm not sure exactly what he was doing. I guess he wanted to make sure he could save some time to warp in units. And here comes the Warp Prism from Elfi, along with a probe scouting the natural of his opponent, making sure that he has not expanded yet, and both of them are warping in an Immortal at the same time. Here comes the Observer. They are going to kiss on the way by, and the Observer of Elfi is going to see his opponents, and he's going to try and run, because if Daisy spots that, he will shoot him down, and Daisy did see it now, pulling his Observer back, trying to kill off Elfi's. Elfi is scouting the main of Daisy, trying to see as much information as he can, but there's not really much to see. The big important piece of information is down here, which Elfi is flying towards right now, and here comes the Observer from Elfi. It is going to see the expansion before it does get shot down. That's all Elfi needed, because now he goes, okay, you're going to expand? Congratulations. I'm going to one-base Colossus you and try and punish you for doing so. So here comes the first Colossus from Elfi. Really needs to get in a couple extra pounds. And of course, the Colossi do take up quite a bit of supply, so we should see some extra pounds coming down. But really, he doesn't have much of an army to back up the Colossi. We should see a couple extra Stalkers get warped in here, but his gas is going to be super, super tight. Actually, Elfi forced to cancel a pylon in the center of the map. Of course, Daisy did not see that. It's going to try and chase down this probe. The probe is running for its life to the southern watchtower, and then it's going to wrap around and go back towards Daisy's natural. Daisy only really has units that will die to the Colossi easily. Exceptions are the Immortal and the couple of Stalkers that he has, but they aren't going to be able to do too much. It looks like he actually might go for a one Colossus timing. He might just warp in a bunch of Stalkers here and go. That's exactly what he's going to do. Is this going to be enough, though? I don't think so. Honestly, this army from Elfi is interesting, but I don't think it's going to be enough. The Colossi is very, very strong. And of course, Daisy did expand, but with the number of units that Daisy has, actually, his Observer did scout this, so he's going to see it. Elfi does not have a forward pylon, warping in a couple extra Stalkers, I'm hoping. Yeah, he's warping a couple extra Stalkers. Those are going to be very useful. But the second Immortal from Daisy is going to come out, and as long as Daisy does force field properly, essentially what he wants to try and do is wait for this. He wants to bait the Colossi forward using force fields so that Elfi tries to crush him. And as soon as Elfi tries to do that, then he force fields behind it, preventing any units from coming up with it, and then tries to punish the Colossi. It's very complicated. It's hard to do, but Daisy and Elfi are very, very good players so far. I've already seen it. And here we go. It looks like he's going to push up the ramp. Taking a look at the army spread real quick. They are actually pretty even. Daisy is not going to pull probes here. It looks like he actually shouldn't. I would say no. I probably wouldn't, because if the Colossi gets a couple of good beams off, it could actually finish off Daisy's probe count and reset it back down to 0. And so Elfi is going to push here with a ton of Zealots, a couple of Stalkers, one Sentry for that Guardian Shield, and here comes the Immortal as well. So here we go. Here come the Force Field trying to bait Elfi out, and it looks like actually... Oh, the Immortal caught out of position by Daisy. It may actually have positioned that, trying to burn down the Colossi, pushing up the ramp at this point, and so the Force Field's working against Daisy. There we go. That was what the Force Field he really wants to do, crushing the Force Field, pulling back, making sure not to get baited up, and here comes the Colossi. If Daisy does move forward with his ranged units, he could actually gun down this Colossi, but that is not the case. The Guardian Shield doing a great job for Elfi, and now Elfi is in a great position, pushing up the ramp, might actually take this game right here, warping a couple extra units. The Immortal needs to be taken out by Elfi, needs to kill off that Immortal to the right, and so the units are moving forward, trying to take out the Colossi. The first Immortal is going to go down for Daisy, and now he's going to be pushed off his ramp. Elfi does not have any force fields available. The Observer is still down here scouting out what's going on, and the Colossi is going to get taken out here. Elfi is not paying attention to it, and so at this point, the last Immortal should get taken out here. Actually, Daisy's probe's working against it, and moving forward here, it looks like actually Elfi should take this. Looking at the army supply, they are still pretty close. This Immortal is doing a lot of damage from Elfi, but we'll have to see. It looks like he's actually going to burn down a couple more units, but he's going to lose it. Daisy actually calling GG. Lost 2 minutes, so very well played. We will jump into Game 4 in just a second here. Of course, I am Jay Morrow. You can follow me on Twitter under @JayMorrowPro, and on Twitter, or excuse me, under YouTube under JayMorrowPro as well. So thank you so much for tuning in.